Hello, I'm Professor Conway, and I'll be your professor for both Reading 0900 and College Success 1500. So when you log into Pellissippi, pstcc.edu, you want to go to Brightspace, right? Because you're so bright. So we want to go to Brightspace, where you will find all your classes that you are taking this semester. So once you click on that and log in and verify, you will come into your home of Brightspace. Now here are two courses that say W02, right? It's the Reading 0900 and the College 1500. Now, since I am teaching both of those courses to you, it's a combined course, we're going to house everything into only one place. That is a benefit to you, so you don't have to go back and forth, back and forth. So you notice I have these two pinned, but if you click on this reading one, you will notice that there's nothing there. There might be an announcement for you to leave and go to this one, College 1500. So actually I'm going to go ahead and unpin that one. And if you want to pin a course to help you remember which one it is, you can hit the three dots and click pin. Now I've already got mine pinned, so I'm going to leave that alone. All right. So when you click on this, it's kind of the springy one with the spring purple crocus flower there. That's the one you will always go to. And it'll bring you to the announcements page. So I'm kind of going to give you a tour of our course. The announcements page will always have an announcement that pops up here for the entire week. So make sure that you look at that announcement, because that will be your agenda for the week. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on like a student, as if I were a student, so you can see, so I can see exactly what you would see. Right now, there's no announcement, but of course on the first day of class there will be. So at the top here, you will find these different tabs. Now the main tab that we will be working with is the one called Content. And that makes sense, right? So all the material, all the content will be labeled Content. Assignments tab you will also be working with, and you always want to know what your grades are, and then of course Quizzes tab. So I'll go through each of these very quickly. The Assignments tabs is where, if you click on it, you will find all of your assignments for Reading 0900, which is listed at the top. And you can see all the assignments for the semester. And then College 1500 is about halfway down, and it lists the assignments for College Success. When you submit an assignment, it will say submitted. And when it's graded, it'll have a score, okay? The Calendar tab, if you click it back at the top, the Calendar tab will be the dates of importance, or I sometimes will put in here when quizzes are due, or tests are due, or even major projects. Now, I do not put all the assignments in here. It's just major ones, all right? Or when something is due. Sometimes I will put it on the calendar. And right now there's not much there. Class progress is kind of how you're doing, but the class list, if you're interested in that, it will list all the students in your class. So if you want to reach out to them, connect with them, maybe make a study buddy, or ask them questions about something in class, here is their information. Now, here is a requirement for me. Just like I have done, I want to see your profile picture. So where I can actually see your face. So make sure it's close up and I can see your face. No emoji, no avatar. I want to see your real face. So I'm going to be looking at those the first week, so get those up for me, please. As I said, the content is back at the top. We'll go over that in a moment. Let me jump over here to Discussions tab. So if you hit Discussions tab is like a chat board in a way. It's how we message each other, and it counts as your class participation. Now, if we were in the classroom, we would be doing most of these within the classroom as a whole group and discussion group. However, being on an online class, you're going to do these here. And there will be different discussion boards for different weeks. You will see that the only one you can see right now is for week 1. That there is something required there. And there's always directions and usually an example. But I will remind you that in order to do the discussion boards, you always have to post first, and then you can reply to other students. So before you can see what they have posted, you have to post. I hope that makes sense. The grades tab, so back at the top, the grades tab will list all the, I'm going to close this out, will list all the assignments that have a grade. Now, I have not really hidden most of these. There are a few assignments that are hidden. But what I want to point out is at the top, when you start turning in assignments and quizzes, you will see a grade for a running total. That is not a final grade, but that running total is your grade as if you were to receive the grade that day. For everything you've turned in and that is due, that's received a grade, you'll receive a calculation, an average of your current grade status. You will not receive, of course, a final grade until the end of the semester. But you can look on here and kind of see at a glance what your grade is currently for the semester. The other tab I want to point out is the quizzes tab. This is where your tests and quizzes are located. You cannot see them all for the entire semester, but you can see what is this week. Now, these aren't hard tests or anything you had to study for, but this is where they are located and how you can access them. All right, so let's go back to the content tab. Again, that is the main tab. You go into the table of contents. You will see the weeks listed over here on the left-hand side. Now you will notice a little number in a circle. That number tells you how many topics you need to do within that module. So you will start off with a welcome start here this week. It tells you what to do. And by the way, in the modules, I put everything in order. So do this first, right? Read this first, and then move downward. I try to keep everything in order because if you jump and you do something down here first, you won't have the background for that. So kind of go through it in order. I work really hard to make sure it is in correct order for you so that there's no confusion. All right, so you're going to start with a welcome start here, and then you will move on. Once you finish that, you will move on to week 1. Now you will notice these already have check marks, but there'll be little dots here. And when you look at it, the dot will turn into a check mark, and that kind of keeps you on pace. But be aware, the check mark does not mean you've actually done it. It just means you've looked at it. The computer notices that you've opened it up or you've looked at it, and it gives you a check mark. That doesn't mean you finished it. Then if you go to week 1, once you've done that module, you'll see that all the sub-modules appear under week 1 in order. Now it looks like a whole lot, and quite frankly, week 1 does have a whole lot because there's so much foundational information I have to give you. It's not that any of it's hard, it's just there's a lot to look through, and there's just a lot of little things. But consider this week as just jumping right in, right? And getting busy. So it's a very busy week for you. There's a lot of new information, but I'll be giving like a week and a half or so to get all this stuff in. You're okay. So again, you'll start at the top of week 1 and you'll go in order. Now every week I will have a video just on that week. I'm not doing that in this video. I'll make a separate one for week 1 for start here in week 1. I am just giving you an overview of the course. One other thing I want to point out is if you ever get lost, like you know you were looking for something, and let's say you're in week 11 and you can't remember, you remember talking about or this project or assignment, but you don't remember what week it was in. You can just enter the name in this search topics and it will pull up where it's found. For example, let's say there was a reading history form, but you don't remember where it was located. So you can type that in, and then the search results will appear anywhere where the reading history form was mentioned. So that's helpful. That's a useful little tool. And if you ever get lost or you're into something and you want out, you can always hit the top part and it'll take you all the way back to your assignments. Or your announcements, your announcements. So go here, this is where you always start your week, and you can always go back to make sure. I always start with announcements and end with the announcements, just to make sure you've got everything covered for the week. On this page, here is my contact information. Do not email me on Brightspace. There's a way you can email up here, and don't do that. I'll probably not see it for a while. The best way is to contact me using my Pellissippi email, which is mdconway@pstcc.edu. I am very willing to meet with you a Zoom meeting, so you can email me for a meeting if you need some one-on-one questions, or you can always just email me. But if it doesn't get answered in email, you need to meet with me by Zoom. There will be a Zoom link here, and you can email me there. We can set an appointment to talk there. Okay. Also, we'll be having a survey. The survey is to ask when you would like, I have a few choices, when you would like an optional class Zoom meeting every week. So a weekly Zoom meeting, it is optional. I know a lot of you are working full-time, you have a lot of other obligations, and that's probably why you're taking an online course. But I will offer those every week, and I'm going to have you do a survey to see which would be best suitable for the majority of the class. Again, welcome, and I look forward to this semester working with you.